Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah and day 7 of the Halloween Craft Countdown 2021. Today we're back to Cricut Crafts with this lovely and spooky layered shadow box. The free SVG for this witch and haunted house shadow box is available in the description of this video, so go ahead and check that out to download it, and then I'll show you how to cut it with your Cricut machine and stick it together. Now, when I first made this, the frame that I put it in was white and it didn't really match with all of the spooky vibes going on in this design. So, being a crafter, I thought, let's improve. So I'll also show you how I painted and glittered the shadow box frame to make it extra spooky for Halloween. Let's get started. This is what the layered SVG Halloween shadow box looks like when you've uploaded it into Cricut Design Space. Remember, if you've got a Cricut and you're using Design Space, the file name you need to upload is the one which starts SVG _ in the file name. If you use any of the other files that are included in the zip folder, they won't load in properly to Design Space, so it's really important that you do choose that one that starts with the SVG. The layers are already separated, which you can see down on the right hand side. So all you need to do for this is to measure your frame so that you know how big to size it before you cut it out. First, let's measure our shadow box frame. I've already opened up the back so I can take this out, and then I want to take out the spacer that's inside. So to measure, to get the size of what I need to cut everything out at, I'm going to take my ruler and measure from one edge, outer edge of the spacer, all the way to the other. And on this one it is 6.5 inches. So that's the number that I need to remember to make the design in Design Space. Let's see how to do that now. I need to make the shadow box design in Design Space 6.5 inches, so just click on it, and then in the width and the height box at the top, make sure your little padlock icon is closed, and then I'm going to change the width to 6.5 and press enter on my keyboard, and then it's changed the height too. It's changed the height to 6.499, which isn't quite 6.5, but honestly that's close enough. You're not going to be able to tell the difference. If you really want it to line up exactly though, untick the padlock icon and then you can change the height to 6.5. But as you can see, when I did that, it didn't really make any difference at all. This is all now ready to cut out, so I'm going to click make it on the top right and it will sort out all of the different colours. I'm cutting mine from A4 paper, so I need to go through every single colour and change it to A4. Now, one thing to bear in mind is that once you get to this screen and then the following screen where you're actually cutting things out, Cricut Design Space does change the order that the layers appear in, so be really careful that you're cutting the right bits out of the right colour, because the order they're appearing in here is not the order that they were in on the previous screen when we were looking at the full design. So go ahead, cut everything out, and then I'll show you how to stick together the Halloween shadow box. Here are all my layers cut out, and I've just laid them one on top of the other to check that I'm happy with the colours and that I haven't missed anything. This is looking good, so it's ready to start sticking together. I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. So here is my bottom layer, which is the solid square, and then on top of that is this one, and I cut mine from 2 shades of gold so that you can see the shimmer on them, and that really gives the illusion of the moon coming through, so that does look really nice. Now if you wanted to cut this all from white and put lights behind it in the shadow box, you could certainly do that, but I decided to use the coloured card instead. So I'm going to stick all the layers together with foam pads. This is my favourite brand of foam pads. It's from Dot and Dab. I'll add a link in the description to where you can get these. And they're my favourites because they're really easy to peel the tops off of the foam pads, so it's nice and quick to work with them. They do come quite big though, so I cut them in half so that they don't get used up as quickly. So we need to stick this on here with the foam pads. And as I have been talking, I'm just going to check I've still got all this the right way round. Yep, okay, we're good. I'd hate to stick it on the wrong way. So I'm going to turn this upside down And actually I could have told that because it's white on the bottom, not gold. But let's add some foam pads. The way you do this will vary based on if you are cutting it all from coloured card like I'm doing, or if you're doing it all from white so that you can put the lights behind and see the lights shining through to make that kind of shadow effect. If you're using it with cardstock, colour cardstock like me, you can just sort of put the foam pads anywhere in the design. And I kind of prefer this way because you get a more stable look to the layers, as we can put these foam pads in the middle to create that stability and make sure there's a nice kind of even level for all the layers to build up on. If you're cutting it all from thin white card to show the lights through, then you don't want to put any foam pads in the middle, and you want to make sure around the edge you keep as far to the edge as you can. And that's because otherwise when you turn your lights on at the background, you'll be able to see all of the foam pads you put in the middle. Now if you are doing it with that white card, you might find that it starts sagging in the middle under the weight of everything. You can get transparent foam spaces, or they're more sort of plasticky than foam, and that can help you stop the middles from sagging. Although I haven't actually personally tried that myself, but I have seen other crafters have success with that. So you might want to look for those instead of these foam pads if you are cutting it from the white, because it will enable you to still put some stability in the middle and it won't show through. Okay, so I've turned this around the right way. I'm going to line it up. So to start with, I'm just gently placing it onto the one underneath. And I actually messed that up a bit so I can lift it up easily and start again. You want to be really accurate with the sticking of these, otherwise it won't fit in your frame. So on that bottom corner, that actually was easier for me. So now I can push down, and that is those first layers done. I can move on to the next one. So I'm just making sure that is the right way round, then I can turn it upside down and add the foam. I'm going to do the same thing as last time, put some around the edge and also some in the middle, so that the little extremity sort of cut out pieces aren't going to sag down. I like making these shadow boxes because it's quite therapeutic, adding all these foam pads on, and you end up with a really nice piece of artwork to display in your home. They also make great gifts for friends or family. And because this particular SVG, the free one from my website, is a commercial use file, you can use it to create shadow boxes that you sell too. So if you have a craft business and you want to add some Halloween items, then this might be something that you could choose. And most of my SVG files on my blog, so my free ones, and all of the ones in my shop do come with that commercial use, so you can sell your physical handmade creations. The only thing you're not allowed to do is sell or share the digital files themselves, and you can't use any of my digital files to make new digital files that you then sell or share. But physical handcrafted items like the shadow box we're making here are absolutely fine to sell. I'm now going to repeat this process for all of the remaining layers. So I'm going to pause the video and go ahead and do that, because I'm not doing anything different than you've just seen me do with these 3 layers. So I don't want to bore you by showing you all of the different ones. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll see how it's looking when it's all put together. Here's my last layer with the foam pads on. So I can stick this into place, and you can see how it's all built up now. It looks awesome. So just carefully get that one on. And there we go. That is all of my layers. You can see it is quite thick. That's going to look really cool in the shadow box. Here's my frame again. So let's take out the back and the spacer. I have got the glass in there, but I'm just going to take that out for the video because otherwise it will reflect the lights that I've got above my camera and all you'll see is the camera reflection. So got the glass out, but you should keep your glass in and make sure you clean it first before you put the back in. So here we go. Let's place that one in there and I'll put the back in. Fold the little tabs down. And there we go. So I think this would honestly look better in a black frame, but I don't actually have a black frame. All I've got is this white one. So I might actually try painting it. I do have some acrylic paint, so we'll give that a go and see if that makes a difference. But for now, here is my completed shadow box with all of those wonderful layers. And I love the gold for the two bottom layers. That really helps create that Halloween-y vibe. I decided at this point that I did actually want to have a go at painting my frame to make it look more Halloween-y. So I got a load of different acrylic paint and put it into a palette. I've got purple, silver, grey, black, gold and a brown. And then I just dabbed it over the frame. If you're wondering why my frame's kind of a grey colour when it was white in the last shot, it's because I tried staining it first using a deep green kind of glitter spray and it didn't work at all. It barely coloured it. So onto the acrylic paint it was. Now I wanted quite a colourful vibe for this, lots of different spooky Halloween colours so that it's really going to show off the shadow box inside. I'm definitely not an artist, as you can probably tell by my slightly haphazard painting, but I started by putting some purple splodges and I made sure the paint was on really thick so that it wouldn't kind of soak into the wood and get all splotchy. Next, I added some grey and silver around it and other splotches, and I know it looks pretty messy at the moment, but don't worry, it will get better. After that, I added some black and I'm just going around and filling it all in, and I'm also making sure I get kind of the inside bit that you'll still be able to see and then also kind of that outside ridge a little bit as well. Finally, it was time to fill in what was left with gold and brown. So here I am just filling in the rest of that frame. Here's the last little bit and then it's all done. And what I did next was to go around the outside of the frame, so all of the bits that you can't actually see in this video, and I just painted that black because it was still showing as white and it was a bit too jarring when you compared it with all the new colours on the frame. So by doing everything black, it just adds to that Halloween vibe and made it all fit a lot better. And of course, what Halloween spooky frame would be complete without glitter? So I've got some black and a kind of dark copper glitter, and whilst the acrylic paint was still wet, I just dabbed on loads of this so it's going to stick in the paint and look really, really cool. So here is the black, and then once I'd put a good amount of that all over, I then got the copper colour and added some. Oh, actually, look at this. I changed my mind. I didn't use copper, I used purple. That's why it's good to record these voiceovers, because I forget things sometimes. But anyway, here's the purple glitter going on. And the glitter really did add to it because not only does it create that sparkle, but it helped cover up some of my rather messy painting. I then let this dry for 24 hours before putting the shadow box layers in, because I added so much paint it was a little bit tacky to touch. I wanted to make sure it was really dry so I didn't get anything on top of my shadow box layers. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make my layered Halloween shadow box and how to spookify your frames, is that a word? I think it should be, with all of the paint and glitter. Don't forget the free SVG for this project is in the description, but if you want all of the free SVGs from the whole craft countdown, go to craftwithsarah.com/Halloween 2021 to sign up. Thank you for watching and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!